Being black in Israel is a mix of many things. It's complex, sometimes unfair, and full of challenges. The unfortunate events that unfolded in Israel in recent days have left the black communities living in them in great shock, utterly stranded, and displaced on all sides emotionally, physically, and on every ground. Amidst the backdrop of geopolitical tensions and societal unrest, the lived experiences of black individuals in Israel remain primarily overlooked and misunderstood. Despite Israel's reputation as a modern and diverse nation, the black communities within its borders endure a myriad of challenges that often go unnoticed by the wider world. Welcome to yet another exciting video content into the realities of being black in Israel. In this special documentary, we explore the untold stories and lived experiences of Israel's black communities to uncover what it's truly like to navigate life as a black individual in Israel. But before we delve into this important discussion, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on thought-provoking videos like this. And to our returning viewers, welcome back. Now, let's dive into the heart of the matter. Number 1, the illusion of equality. In Israel, many people believe that everyone is treated the same, no matter their skin color. However, the reality for black communities tells a different story. The notion of equality is deeply ingrained in its national identity. The country has prided itself as a beacon of democracy and progressiveness in the Middle East. However, for many black Israelis, this idealistic facade crumbles upon closer examination. Despite legal protections against discrimination, the lived experience often paints a starkly different picture. Systemic racism pervades various facets of daily life for black Israelis, leaving them grappling with a reality that belies the nation's professed principles. Education, employment, housing, and healthcare are cornerstones of societal well-being, and they are all arenas where the insidious effects of discrimination manifest. Walking through the bustling streets of Tel Aviv, or winding through the ancient alleyways of Jerusalem for black Israelis, every step can feel like a battle against an invisible force that marks them as perpetual outsiders. Despite being the nation's citizens, their skin color often becomes a barrier, casting a shadow over their opportunities and experiences. In the realm of employment, black Israelis encounter significant hurdles in accessing job opportunities. Discriminatory hiring practices are formidable obstacles, hindering their ability to secure meaningful employment. Despite possessing the requisite skills and qualifications, many find themselves overlooked or dismissed based solely on the color of their skin. The dream of upward mobility, a fundamental tenet of the Israeli ethos, becomes an elusive mirage for black individuals as economic disparities widen along racial lines. The education system, touted as a cornerstone of equal opportunity, fails to provide equitable access and support to black students. In classrooms nationwide, disparities in resources, attention, and educational outcomes persist. Black children often find themselves navigating an educational landscape fraught with challenges, where systemic biases inhibit their academic progress and personal development. Despite their aspirations and potential, they face an uphill battle against entrenched inequities that threaten to stifle their dreams. Moreover, the quest for adequate housing and healthcare proves to be a formidable ordeal for black Israelis. Discriminatory practices in housing markets and healthcare settings compound the challenges they already face, exacerbating their marginalization and vulnerability. Whether seeking shelter or medical care, black individuals are confronted with systemic barriers that impede their access to essential services and perpetuate cycles of inequality. Yet, Amidst these adversities, the resilience of Black Israelis shines through. They are the unsung heroes of a narrative often overshadowed by more prominent voices. Despite the odds stacked against them, they refuse to succumb to despair or resignation. Instead, they channel their frustrations into activism, advocacy, and community-building efforts to effect meaningful change. In the face of systemic injustices, grassroots movements and civil society organizations emerge as beacons of hope, galvanizing communities and amplifying their voices. Through collective action and solidarity, Black Israelis reclaim agency and demand recognition of their humanity, dignity, and rights. The illusion of equality in Israel stands exposed, revealing the harsh realities faced by Black individuals in the country. Their stories are poignant reminders of the enduring struggle for justice, equality, and inclusion. It is incumbent upon society to heed their voices, confront systemic injustices, and work towards building a more equitable and just future for all. One such example is the story of a young Ethiopian Israeli named Yosef, who grew up in Israel feeling torn between his Ethiopian heritage and Israeli identity. Yosef's parents immigrated to Israel from Ethiopia, seeking a better life for their family. However, upon arriving in Israel, they faced discrimination and struggled to integrate into Israeli society. As Yosef grew older, he grappled with questions of identity and belonging. He felt a deep connection to his Ethiopian roots, cherishing the traditions, language, and customs passed down by his ancestors. At the same time, he longed to feel entirely accepted as an Israeli citizen and to participate in mainstream Israeli culture. Yosef's journey of navigating identity was not easy. He faced stereotypes and prejudice from some of his Israeli peers who viewed him as different because of his skin color and cultural background. Yet, despite these challenges, Yosef remained proud of his heritage and sought to educate others about Ethiopian culture and history. Through community events, cultural celebrations, and advocacy efforts, Yosef found a sense of belonging among other Ethiopian Israelis who shared similar experiences. Together, they formed a tight-knit community that supported one another and celebrated their shared identity. Yosef's story highlights the complexities of navigating identity for Black communities in Israel. It illustrates the challenges of balancing cultural heritage with the desire for acceptance and belonging in a society where stereotypes and discrimination persist. Yet, it also demonstrates the resilience and strength of individuals who refuse to be defined by narrow perceptions of race and ethnicity. For Ethiopian Jews, the journey of integration into Israeli society is fraught with obstacles stemming from both racial and cultural differences. Despite sharing a common faith with other Jewish Israelis, they often find themselves relegated to the periphery, their traditions and customs overlooked or dismissed. The disconnect between their Ethiopian heritage and Israeli identity underscores the need for greater recognition and appreciation of their unique cultural contributions. Similarly, African asylum seekers grapple with issues of identity and belonging as they navigate the complexities of seeking refuge in Israel. Forced to flee persecution and violence in their homelands, they arrive in Israel seeking safety and security, only to encounter a system that denies them fundamental rights and services. The struggle to assert their humanity and dignity in the face of systemic discrimination underscores the complexities of their identities as both refugees and individuals with inherent rights and agency. Despite these challenges, Black Israelis refuse to give up hope. They come together to support each other and fight for their rights. They raise their voices through grassroots movements and community activism and demand to be seen and heard. As we listen to their stories, we understand that the struggle for identity and acceptance is universal. It's not just about being Black or Jewish or an asylum seeker. It's about the fundamental human need to belong and be valued for who you are. In Israel, as in any society, diversity should be celebrated and embraced. It's what makes us stronger and more vibrant as a community. By recognizing Black Israelis' unique experiences and contributions, we can move closer to a future where everyone is treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their background or identity. Number 4, voices of resilience. Even in the face of tough times, Black Israelis stand tall and refuse to be silenced. Their voices ring loud and clear, demanding fairness, equality, and respect for their rights. They join grassroots movements and community groups to ensure their voices are heard. BlackCulture thrives, from South Tel Aviv's colorful streets to Haifa's lively markets. Music fills the air, people dance joyfully, and stories are told with passion. It's a celebration of resilience and strength, a reminder that no matter their challenges, their culture and identity will always shine bright. One of those who stood up to raise their voice is Naftali Aklam. Naftali was born in Ethiopia and immigrated to Israel with his family at a young age. Growing up in Israel, Naftali faced discrimination and challenges, but he refused to let these obstacles define him. Instead, he channeled his experiences into activism and community leadership. Naftali became deeply involved in advocating for the rights of Ethiopian Israelis, particularly in education. He noticed disparities in educational opportunities and resources for Ethiopian Israeli students and decided to take action. Through his resilience and determination, Naftali founded an organization dedicated to empowering Ethiopian Israeli youth through education and mentorship programs. He worked tirelessly to provide support and resources to students facing academic and social challenges. Despite facing setbacks and opposition, Naftali remained committed to his cause. He organized community events, led workshops on empowerment and leadership, and fought for more excellent representation of Ethiopian Israelis in decision-making positions. Naftali's efforts paid off as he began to see tangible improvements in the lives of Ethiopian Israeli youth. More students were graduating from high school, pursuing higher education, and achieving success in various fields. Today, Naftali remains a voice of resilience within the Ethiopian Israeli community. He is a mentor and role model for young people, inspiring them to persevere in adversity and strive for a brighter future. Naftali's story exemplifies the power of resilience and community leadership. Despite facing systemic challenges and discrimination, he refused to be silenced and instead used his voice to uplift others and advocate for change. Naftali has become a beacon of hope and empowerment for Ethiopian Israelis nationwide through his actions. In South Tel Aviv, artists paint murals that tell stories of struggle and triumph. Their artwork is a powerful form of protest, reclaiming spaces and narratives that others have long dominated. Each stroke of the brush is a declaration of defiance, a testament to the power of creativity in the face of adversity. In Haifa's bustling markets, drums and laughter fill the air. Black Israelis gather to share their stories and celebrate their heritage. Through music, dance, and storytelling, they preserve their traditions and pass them down to future generations. It's a way of keeping their culture alive and thriving despite efforts to erase it. But the fight for justice and equality goes beyond art and culture. Black Israelis also mobilize in grassroots movements and advocacy groups, working together to address systemic issues and push for change. Through protests, rallies, and community organizing, they demand accountability from those in power, and fight for policies promoting equality and justice. One example of this activism is the Black Panthers, a grassroots movement that emerged in the 1970s to combat racism and discrimination against Mizrahi Jews and other marginalized communities. Inspired by the American Civil Rights Movement, the movement organized protests and campaigns to challenge systemic injustice and demand equal rights and opportunities for all Israelis. Today, the spirit of the Black Panthers lives on in the activism of Black Israelis fighting against racism, discrimination, and police brutality. Their voices may be loud, but they are also clear and unwavering in their demand for justice and equality. In Israel, being Black is like walking through a maze of ups and downs. In this special documentary, we've seen that Black Israelis face many challenges, like unfair treatment and discrimination. But we've also seen their strength and hope shining through. As the documentary ends, let's remember what we've learned. Let's listen to their stories, learn from their experiences, and support them in their fight for fairness and equality. Together, we can make a difference and create a world where everyone is treated with kindness and respect, no matter the color of their skin. We hope that this thought-provoking episode has left a lasting impression on you as we bring it to a close. We sincerely appreciate your continuous support, and we can't wait for you to return for our upcoming post. We kindly ask that you take a time to like and share this video if you have found any value in what we have discussed today. By sharing the video, you're supporting the development of our community, as well as improving the lives of others. Make sure you click the subscribe button and enable notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming releases. We assure you that you won't want to miss what's coming up next. We appreciate your participation in our journey. Until we meet again, continue to explore, learn, and inspire.